Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, India's G20 presidency, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are commemorating International Literacy Day. Since 1967, International Literacy Day celebrations have been taking place annually around the world to remind the public of the importance of literacy as a matter of dignity and human rights, and to advance the literacy agenda towards a more literate and sustainable society. Despite steady progress made across the world, literacy challenges persist, with at least 763 million young people and adults lacking basic literacy skills in 2020. The recent COVID-19 crisis and other crises such as climate change and conflicts have been exacerbating the challenges. Rapidly changing global context took a new meaning over the past years, hampering the literacy progress and widening inequalities across world regions, countries, and populations. In low and middle income countries, the share of 10-year-old children who could not read and understand a simple text with comprehension has increased from 57% in 2019 to an estimated 70% in 2022. In this context, this year's International Literacy Day will be celebrated worldwide under the theme Promoting Literacy for a World in a Transition. Building the foundation for sustainable and peaceful societies. International Literacy Day will be an opportunity to join the efforts to accelerate progress towards the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goal 4, SDG 4, on education and lifelong learning, and to reflect on the role of literacy in building more inclusive, peaceful, just, and sustainable societies. In doing so, it will embrace and reciprocal relations between literacy and other areas of development. Literacy is central to the creation of such societies, while progress in other areas of development contributes to generating interest and motivation of the people to acquire, use, and further develop their literacy and numerical skills. Under this theme, ILD 2023 will be celebrated at the global, regional, country, and local levels across the world. On this occasion, at the global level, a conference was organized in person and online on February 8th, September 2023 in Paris, France. That was today. This global celebration was to include the award ceremony of the UNESCO International Literacy Prizes. If literacy is a victory for humanity, it is a fragile one. There is always the possibility of a relapse. Let the International Day be a reminder of this and an opportunity to honor all those who are dedicated to making universal literacy a reality, not just a goal. As quoted by Audrey Azoulay, Director General of UNESCO. The message for the day from Director General of UNESCO on occasion of International Literacy Day. As once you learn to read, you will be forever free, wrote the American abolitionist and former slave himself, Frederick Douglass. Literacy is indeed much more than merely learning letters and words. It transforms drops of ink on paper into windows on the world. It is a key that opens the door to knowledge, emancipation, and imagination. Beyond the benefits for the individual, through society as a whole benefits from progress in literacy. For it is a passport to communication with others, thereby strengthening understanding within and between peoples. And it also enables everyone to integrate into society and strengthens participation in civic life. In the space of 40 years, significant progress has been made. 3.6 billion people have learned to read and write, raising the global literacy rate 68% in 1979 to 87% in 2020. However, the current situation is still rife with injustice and inequality. At the halfway point in 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, 244 million school-age children are still not in school, 98 million of them in sub-Saharan Africa. At the same time, 763 million adults still cannot read or write. Two-thirds of them are women. Over and above illiteracy, learning gaps still too often lead to incomplete literacy. 6 out of 10 children attending school at the age of 10 cannot read and understand a simple text. That is why then as now UNESCO supports literacy efforts in countries all over the world, and they pay particular attention to the crisis situations where the fundamental right to learn to read and write is under threat. This is a case of Afghanistan, where UNESCO has led a major literacy campaign benefiting 1.2 million young Afghan men and women since 2008. In the past 2 years, though, as the de facto authorities have denied Afghan women and girls over the age of 12 their fundamental right to education, a ban that has been extended to higher education since December 2022. This progress has been in serious jeopardy, and so on the symbolic day, UNESCO is once again calling for the right to education for all women and girls to be restored without delay. If literacy is a victory for humanity, it is a fragile one. There is always the possibility of relapse. Let the International Literacy Day be a reminder of this and an opportunity to honor all those who are dedicated to making universal literacy a reality, not just a goal. Every year, International Literacy Day, in short known as ILD, is celebrated and commemorated to raise awareness and concern for literacy problems that exist within our local communities as well as globally. It was founded by the proclamation of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, in short known as UNESCO, in 1966, to remind the public of importance of literacy as a matter of dignity and human rights. International Literacy Day brings ownership of the challenges of illiteracy back home to local communities where literacy begins. One person at a time, observe this day by utilizing resources, online and offline. Although much progress has been made in improving literacy rates in more than 50 years since the first International Literacy Day, illiteracy remains a global problem. There are thought to be more than 750 million adults around the world who cannot read. The scourge of illiteracy spares no nation or culture on earth, including the United States, where an estimated 32 million American adults are illiterate. Literacy is defined as the quality or state of being literate, that is educated, able to read and write. Because you are able to read this and express this and talk about it, no doubt, spent a lot of time reading online and offline, it may seem incredulous to learn that there are people living and working in your own community who not only cannot read, but also unable to talk on various subjects. And not only that, identify or read a book or read a restaurant menu or a road sign, a voting ballot or an instruction manual, a prescription bottle label or a cereal box or anything that has a written prescription. So can you imagine navigating modern day life without the basic ability to read and write? For that matter, in any language, irrespective of any language, wiping out illiteracy in every local community around the world is what International Literacy Day is all about. International Literacy Day was first conceived at the World Conference of Ministers of Education in Eradication of Illiteracy, held in Tehran, Iran, in 1965. The following year, UNESCO took the lead and declared September 8th as International Literacy Day, with the primary purpose being to remind the international community of the importance of the literacy for individuals, communities, and societies, and need for intensified efforts towards more literate societies. 1 year later, the global community accepted the challenge of ending illiteracy by participating in the first International Literacy Day. UNESCO declares September 8th as International Literacy Day to remind the international community of the importance of literacy for individuals, communities, and societies, and need for intensified efforts towards more literate societies. Government, schools, and communities around the world participated in activities designated to focus on effective ways to end literacy at the local level in 1967 with the first International Literacy Day commemorations and celebrations. The critical role of literacy is highlighted at the World Conference on Education for All in Jomtien, Thailand in 1990. The UN Sustainable Development Goals are developed by world leaders at the World Education Forum held in Incheon, Republic of Korea, through the Incheon Declaration in 2015. International Literacy Day turns its focus towards the literacy skills necessary to navigate a digital mediated societies in 2017. Literacy is a blessing often taken for granted. Reading is essential in our daily lives. Navigating through the world without being able to read or write is challenging and is a blockade of experiencing so many things. On International Literacy Day, organizations and individuals take charge and use their literacy to encourage and assist those who are facing difficulties on how to read and write. Students and employed people volunteer to tutor children in community. Books are generously donated to libraries, and a student tuition and learning are sponsored to launch their lifelong success. Institutions and government and international organizations campaign for literacy at the grassroots level, as well as host think tanks and discussion forums to strategize and implement the best policies for the eradication of illiteracy. They also host fundraisers for the cause. A theme is set for the International Literacy Day every year, which is used as a way to build awareness around specific issues. Going by the numbers, the percentage of American third grade students who read at a grade level is more than 40%. The percentage of children who will struggle to read their whole lives if they fall behind at age 9 is 75%. The number of boys who suffer from some level of dyslexia is 1 in 4. The number of students who suffer from learning differences is 1 in 5. The fraction of Americans struggling readers who belong to the college-educated families is 1/3. The percentage of the literacy rate among the youth in Algeria is 97%. The percentage of literacy rate globally for all males is 90%. The percentage of literacy rate globally for all females is 82.7%. Adora's ranking in the world in terms of highest literacy. The percentage of illiteracy among people aged 15 and above in sub-Saharan Africa in 2019 was 34.7%. So literacy is essential for proper social and individual human development. Basic literacy skills equip individuals to transform their lives by improving their overall standard of living and in turn improve the standard of living for whole communities. On this day, let's take up some activities to promote literacy and literacy activities. Elementary school classroom libraries always need fresh reading material to keep young students interested in reading. Ask your child's teachers for a wish list of books they know students will enjoy and donate them to class. If you don't have a child in school, ask co-workers, relatives, or neighbors about donating to their children's classroom libraries. You'll be their hero on International Literacy Day. Children are naturally curious about the world around them. Reading satisfies their desire to learn and stirs the imagination. Books are much appreciated gifts for birthdays, holidays, or for no reason at all other than to say, I was thinking about you. And it isn't International Literacy Day is the perfect day to say, I was thinking about you by giving a book to each of the children in your life. Don't forget the adults appreciate receiving books as gifts too. Gather family, friends, or neighbors together today and start a small lending library in your neighborhood. In 2009, Todd Ball of Hudson, Wisconsin, started the first free little library to make book sharing easily accessible and available anytime for the people in community. His concept of take a book, return a book is based on the honor system. We love that these little libraries are accessible 24/7 and there are never any late fees or fines. Literacy is important to everyone. Study shows that giving the brain a daily workout, reading, writing, and working with numbers keeps brain cells healthy as we age, reducing the chances of developing Alzheimer's and dementia later in life. The lack of literacy skills limits social engagement at all age levels and prevent adults and children from being able to participate fully and contribute to better society. Learning to read and write improves our ability to communicate effectively with others by enhancing oral language, allowing us to express our feelings, thoughts, and ideas with others more clearly. Knowing how to read, write, and work with numbers are critical skills for jobs with opportunities to advance up the social economical ladder. Literacy breaks the cycle of poverty one life at a time. Literacy is the key to personal empowerment and gives us personal dignity and self-worth. This day reminds us that illiteracy exists in affluent societies, not just the third world countries. It is a problem that needs to be solved and deserves attention and participation. Just thinking about how different our lives would be if we could not read or write makes us shiver. This day gives us reason to pause and be thankful for the parents, grandparents, siblings, teachers, and others who invested their time and resources to help us learn to read and write when we were young. Our literacy is a treasure for which we are grateful. Some problems appear to be so big and overwhelming, they seem almost impossible to solve. But stopping the cycle of illiteracy is one challenge that can be solved, one child and one adult at a time. So even approaches such as governments expanding access to charter schools could also help. Today is also commemorated as Actors' Day. National Actors' Day is celebrated or commemorated on September 8th in the US as it is all about celebrating how actors make us feel when they play our favorite characters and how they help us appreciate the art form as a whole. The day is celebrated in the US to honor the actors who give their talent, time, and energy just to entertain us. It recognizes not only the big stars, but also the artists who have portrayed roles in media, such as film, TV, or theater. We recognize the work of those in professions, so it is good to take a day to value their amazing work. Recognizing the work of these artists can make more of difference than we may realize. Acting is said to have originated since time, and in West it is believed to be originated in Egypt as early as 4000 BC, when the priests worshipped the memory of the departed. In China, keeping alive the memory of the victory of the current emperor's ancestors over its preceders paved the way for the development of first non-religious acting. In ancient Greece, the forms of acting occurred with drama plays. Early actors used a mask to portray several characters in one play. They made the body express through meme, and the face could not. Meanwhile, the Roman Empire's theatrical plays were filled with spectacle and diversity. The Middle Ages, with the season of Catholic influence, attempted to label acting as dangerous, immoral, and pagan art form, which lowered its popularity immensely with the influence of Catholic churches and religion. The Renaissance period then brought acting back and transformed it again with morality plays. This was followed by William Shakespeare in 1700s, who solidified theater acting in its place. Italy was the birthplace of modern professional acting in the West during the early 16th century. Actors involved words and actions to breathe life into scenarios, teaching actors to collaborate. Even so, when weight is still on an individual's actor's skills and cleverness. Since then, acting has evolved into a highly respected art form. Famous actors from all over the world play characters from books, plays, scripts, and then convey those characters through Broadway shows, theater plays, and films. Saudi Arabians started flocking to cinemas in April 2018 after nearly a 40-year ban. This was one of the reforms put forth by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as a means to modernize urban culture and lessen the kingdom's economic dependence on oil. Miami Vice actor Philip Michael Thomas conceptualized the term EGOT in his pursuit of winning the major entertainment awards in the acting industry. EGOT stands for Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Awards, thus becoming a distinction for actors who won all of these awards. Act of 2022, The Last Days of American Crime 2020, was rated the worst movie on the site Rotten Tomatoes. So if you want to watch the worst movie, you can watch The Last Days of American Crime as rated on Rotten Tomatoes website. So if you are a cast member, post photos from the rehearsal room or bloopers or behind the scenes, or record a video explaining what got you into acting, share your love of acting, or inspire, motivate and share with the world. Take this day to watch your favorite actors' greatest work. You can also host a movie night with friends and family and share this holiday or commemoration with everyone. A movie is inspired party to celebrate the date is a fantastic way to mark this day. Keeping it specific to a genre will make it easier to find costumes. Actors are commonly referred to as thespians in the honor of first actor, thespis. The study of how aspects of performance translate to its audience as science is known as semiotics. A performer's heart rate rises the most before They begin speaking, then drop significantly at the end of monologue, big action scene, or performance. In England, at the time of William Shakespeare, only men could become actors. There are approximately 2 lakh cinema screens worldwide. This day is all about enjoying creative performances. It's a day for merriment as well as to celebrate our favorite actors and actors. There's nothing like kicking back and watching your favorite movie or TV show. On National Actors Day, we get to enjoy more of them with our loved ones. Acting goes back to thousands of years, and this is a perfect opportunity to learn all about it. Today is also commemorated as National 401k Day in US. We all dream of a life of leisure during our golden retirement years. So National 401k Day is commemorated and celebrated every year on Friday after Labor Day, prompts us to check in our nest egg. With only 70% of Americans financially prepared for retirement, understanding what you can do to make the dream of retirement a reality is important. It is estimated that 79% of the American workers work for a company that offers 401k plan. However, only 41% take the advantage of the benefit. Don't let another day go by without learning why you should save for retirement through your company's 401k plan, or what you can do to save retirement if you don't have access to a 401k plan. So 401k Day began in 1996 by the Profit Sharing 401k Council of America, in short known as PSCA, the Plan Sponsor Council of America, which is widely known as today. The Friday following Labor Day, Monday, was chosen so employees can start the week with Labor Day and end the week with retirement. This holiday promotes retirement savings, education, and encourages companies to give their employees the 411 about their 401k in fun, easy to understand ways. Retirement planning is a complex topic. Rules change as quickly as the market changes. Less than 40% of the Americans can answer basic questions about their 401k. So it's a good thing that we have a day dedicated to learning about them. Because of this complexity and our increased focus on financial health and wellness over the years, many companies now campaign for retirement savings education year-round. And now, more than ever, retirement savings education isn't only about 401k plans, since not everyone has access to them and people refer investment diversification. We aren't pulling all of our nest eggs in one 401k basket. If your employer provides a 401k plan, you can use that resource to start your retirement plan. However, if you are self-employed, you can start your 401k plan through a financial institution. There are 2 different types of 401k, traditional and Roth. The traditional route takes a percentage of your paycheck approved by you, of course, whereas through the Roth 401k, contributions are made with money you have already paid on taxes, meaning your money grows tax-free. January 1st, 1980, on this day, a new provision in the Revenue Act of 1978 took effect, allowing for tax-deferred compensation for bonuses and stock options, clearing the way for 401k retirement plans. The IRS created new rules allowing employees to make tax-deferred salary deductions. In 1981, it was allowed for the first time. For the first time in the 15-year history, assets held in 401k plan hits $1 trillion. In 1996, the profit sharing 401k Council of America launches National 401k Day to promote the importance of these plans in 1996. The Pensions Protection Act of 2006 made it easier for companies to enroll employees into a 401k plan automatically, encouraging more savings since 2006 as Congress makes automatic enrollments easier. So the maximum you can contribute to your plan annually is set by the IRS each year. For example, 2020, the maximum amount was $19,500 with an additional amounts known as catch-up contributions. People 50 years and older can contribute. The money your employer contributes into 401k plan is often a vesting schedule, which refers to the time it takes for you to have access to the money they have contributed to your account. Ask your benefits administrator, HR department, and vesting schedule. If you do not have access to 401k plan in your organization, there are a variety of individual retirement accounts, IRAs. You can research if you work in public school system with tax exempt organizations for your local, state, and federal governments. These are other choices such as 403B, 457, or thrift savings plan. Many financial groups offer a retirement calculator tools on their websites, typically free for anyone to use and plan. Fill in your personal information to get an estimate on how much money you will need to live on each year. Use this day as a reminder to check in on your assets. Is your savings planning out as you have hoped? Are you reaching your annual savings goals? What adjustments need to be made? There is something you should track periodically. So mark your calendar for National 401k Day to do just that. Your bank, credit card, union, or even Most employees match their employees' contributions by a certain amount. For example, they may match 50% of your contribution up to 6%, which means if you contribute 6% in your 401k account, they will contribute 3%. The typical 401k plan also allows you to select from a variety of investors that fit your investment preferences. Withdrawals result in penalty, fees, as well as tax payments, which you likely avoided when initially saving the money. Avoid early withdrawals. Check long-term investments that are easy to forget about, but you should monitor as you go in order to make adjustments as needed. A lack of financial literacy is an ongoing problem among Americans of all ages. National 401k Day promotes effective communication between plan sponsors and consumers needing the help making the best retirement saving choices. Unless they are the type who wants to work until age 90, everyone needs a plan for their retirement years. The days of the company pensions are long gone, and Social Security will only get you so far. 401ks are among the best ways to save, and National 401k Day promotes this important task. The more you understand about your future requirement needs and retirement needs and the ways to reach those goals, the better prepared you will be. National 401 Day facilitates conversations between consumers and providers, making a connection that will ultimately pay off for both parties. Today is also commemorated as National Ampersand Day. To honor ampersand, a Latin character and a logogram that depicts the conjunction and. The ampersand has been in use since the 1st century AD, although most people don't give much thought to this symbol. It has a long and illustrious history. Even if you don't consider yourself a language nerd, we think it's a perfect day to celebrate. The ampersand's origins can be traced back to the Latin word et, which means end, and. The letter C and T in this word were occasionally put together to form a ligature, a character consisting of 2 or more joined letters. The writer saved time by writing the word in a manner with one letter flowing seamlessly into the next, a type of cursive or joined up writing. It is impossible to say when this symbol was initially written down, although an early example has been discovered as graffiti on a wall in Pompeii, preserved by the Welser eruption in 79 AD. So tracing the evolution of symbols across time might be challenging, but with the ampersand, the job has already been done for us by Jan Pritchard, a typographer born in Leipzig in 1902. Pritchard dedicated an entire study to the evolution of ampersand in the 1953 monograph, The Ampersand, Its Genesis and Development, in which he collected hundreds of examples of sign throughout the history, charting its evolution from ancient graffiti to the familiar ampersand used today. There are examples from the 8th century in the collection that are immediately recognized as a modern ampersand. The name ampersand is shockingly modern for such an ancient symbol. It is derived from an alteration of and per se and meaning, and that is by itself creates the word and, which was once repeated by the school children to aid in the learning sign. In 2015, Chaz D. Simon, an author, designer, and typographer, established National Ampersand Day. His art initiative considers the ampersand to be an art form. He established this day to celebrate the ampersand sign, which he uses as a fun art object. Etymology, the name ampersand is a preservation of and per se and, which literally means and, that is by itself creates the word. And the symbol ampersand is formed from the ligature of the Latin word for et and et or et. The ampersand could be used to indicate that the and is a listed item, is a part of item's name rather than a separator. And in names that are abbreviations of themselves, such as AT and T, ampersand also counts as a word. Look at its wordy grandeur, but ampersand is also a symbol. It depends on whether you write a symbol or you write the alphabet AND. You can begin in looking for a book that features an ampersand as the 27th character and sharing it on social media so that others can learn about the symbol's history and evolution. Use the hashtag ampersand users to share ampersand users. If you want to celebrate, make use of ampersands in everything you write or create logos with flamboyantly designed ampersand. A few credit Marcus Tullius Trio, slave and assistant to Cicero, a Roman lawyer, author, and orator, with developing the ampersand. He is also credited with creating the first Latin shorthand system, which lasted over 1,000 years. Font Aid was established in 1999 to generate cash for disaster relief victims during a Font Aid event. Designers collaborate to produce and sell a GILF with ampersand inclusiveness. The letter Z was not always the final letter in the English alphabet, but instead the ampersand, it's unclear when it was removed from the alphabet. While the ampersand is commonly used in the place of word and, which is conjunction, it is actually a logogram, which is the character that symbolizes regularly used word or phrase in shorthand. The ampersand is really a common symbol for passwords. It was ranked 9th place in the terms of the most often used special character in a password. Ampersands serve a variety of functions. Titles and business names are two common examples, especially in the areas of architecture, consulting, engineering, and law. When space is limited, the ampersand can be used as a shorthand symbol. If you are writing a little piece of paper of working inside tables or spreadsheets, using the ampersand instead of and is tolerated grammatically. Today is also commemorated as National Dog Walker Appreciation Day in US, which was started by WAG. This is a day dedicated to the recognition and appreciation of dog walkers and their heroines that they are. Regardless of the day or weather, they are always there to let our pups out and make our lives easier. They work hard to ensure our pets are kept safe, clean, and happy. So why not take a day to appreciate their dedication and kindness to our furry friends? After all, they also deserve some kindness, compassion for all that they do. According to Swedish genetist Pontus Skoglund, canine domestication first occurred about 27,000 years to 40,000 years ago. It is believed that feral wolves were initially drawn to human settlements to scavenge for leftover food. Over time, they began to travel with nomads, and a type of natural selection for domestication came into being. As per studies, China, the Middle East, the Europe are among the regions where the domestication of modern day dogs first occurred. Since the dogs have made a place for themselves in the society and our hearts are like any other, they are our furry friends, emotional support, protectors, and even family members. For all the love and joy they bring to our lives, they require care and attention in return. When nature calls, they need to be let out of the house to handle their business. They need to be taken out on frequent walks to get fresh air, to exercise, and a little playtime in nature. While they have set schedules in the morning and evening for the same, it can be challenging for working fur parents to take them on walks. This is where dog walkers come to save the day. And picking up the poop is just one aspect of a dog walker's work, and it's also the most basic. Everyone, however, has a tale about a dog walker who hurried across the town to let the dogs out when the owner was trapped at work, or who watered the plants, fed the fish, and kept an eye on the house while the family was on vacation. Every day, dog walkers go above and beyond the call of duty. Nonetheless, most people are unaware of how difficult the work is. Started by WAG, the platform that connects pet parents with local dog walkers, National Dog Walker Appreciation Day provides walkers the recognition they long deserve. There are no specific qualifications needed to be a dog walker. However, experience in animal aid, animal care, animal behavior is always a plus. An average dog walker is paid anywhere between $10 to $35. However, this can be substantially more or less depending on the area, the type of the dog, the number of the dogs, the dog walking service, or the individual, to name a few factors. Dog walkers do not need insurance as such. There is no mandate or not, there is no requirement for dog walkers. But if you have, that is an additional benefit. If you are a pet owner and have a dog walker, appreciate them a little more today, whether it is telling them how much you appreciate their help or getting them a small token of appreciation. Let them know how you feel. Dog walking is much more challenging job than it seems to be. In addition to walking the dog walkers are responsible for picking up behind them, ensuring their safety, getting enough exercises, getting the dogs to do their business, and so much more. Tip them for their hard work. If you can take time out today, take your dog out for a walk. This will give you some quality time with your pup and insight into dog walker's job. And it will also give the dog walker a much deserved day off. You could even offer a walk someone else's dog and be their dog walker today. Dogs can smell 40 times better than the humans. They have a super sense of smell. Dogs can at times be even better swimmers than humans. They can do it all. Some dogs are so fast that they can beat cheetahs. Just like us, dogs have a dominant left or right paw as their favorites. Dogs can hear significantly higher and lower frequencies than humans can. Dog walking is seldom understood for the effort that goes into it. It is a difficult job and one that bears no restriction in terms of weather conditions. Come what may, dog walkers show up and look after our loved ones, and that deserves to be celebrated. To dedicate one's time to love and care of furry friends is nothing short of amazing. Not only do dog walkers make our dogs better, but they also enable the owners to fulfill their dogs' duties stress-free and with the assurance that their pets are being well taken care of. Spending so much time with dogs, dog walkers become aware of their needs, behaviors, and moods. They can detect when something is off with the dogs and can bring it to attention of the owners, which may have been missed otherwise. Today is also commemorated as National Iguana Day, Awareness Day in US. National Iguana Awareness Day, which is celebrated every year on September 8, is observed as a perfect chance to learn more about the good keeping of your pet iguana. You can learn tips on how to keep your iguana friendly and healthy, and even master a few grooming tricks to make it dashing. Iguanas make for great pets for those who are cramped for space or don't want to spend a lot of time looking after pets. These cold-blooded reptiles can be amazing and affectionate pets for many decades if they are given proper care and attention. This day is celebrated by iguana owners by everyone who has a keen interest in these reptiles. Iguanas are fascinating creatures. They are cold-blooded reptiles with an amazing active tail, but annoy them a little bit and you might end up with an awful bite. Iguanas are native to South and Central America. They didn't always exist in America. It is believed that they came to the country on cargo boats. Over the years, the iguana population rapidly multiplied, and they are now commonly seen in Florida Keys as squirrels in the Midwestern US, even though they have existed in America. For a long time now, these cold-blooded, colorful reptiles are not safeguarded from hunting or pet collection. Many Florida residents have taken these iguanas to their homes and turned them into pets. While iguana owners may be well-intentioned, not all new owners of these baby iguanas realize that a tiny iguana will one day develop scales and grow to a length of 6 feet. So iguanas need special care since they have a very special dietary needs. It is easy to love an iguana and even introduce young children to it, but taking care of those cold-blooded colored reptiles is no easy feat, as you can meet with a bite. So reptiles are the first spotted species on planet Earth around 300 million years ago. Dinosaurs and other giant reptiles populated the Earth in Mesozoic era, that is 252 to 66 million years ago. The impact of large asteroids in the Mesozoic era wipes out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago on planet, and marine iguanas evolved from land iguanas 4.5 million years ago. Iguanas can recognize their owners and families, and they have a great memory and are affectionate, living 15 to 20 years, and can be trained to eat, sleep, and defecate at desired times and places. Iguanas do bite people, but only in self-defense. Their sharp teeth are specifically created to tear plants apart, but their bite could be really painful to humans. The most common iguana diseases are salmonellosis and botulism, while others include leptospirosis, campylobacteriosis, a bowel infection, and trichinosis, a muscle and nervous system disease. So looking to adopt a pet, an iguana can make for an excellent pet if you live in a small apartment or don't have the time to take your pet on a walk. And this is a perfect day to open your home to a new pet member. If you are sure about adopting an iguana, you can use this day to learn about how to take care of your new pet. Learn about health and grooming tips to ensure healthy life for your pet. Iguanas have a third eye on the top of their heads, having three eyes. Iguanas are known to be very social and like to live and eat together. They are social creatures. Iguanas only eat plants, fruits, leaves, and flowers, and rarely insects. So they are mostly vegan. Iguanas may end up their own life if they feel they are being taken care of by their owner. They can commit suicide by themselves. A special delicacy called bamboo chicken is made of green iguanas. They are eaten as food. So this day is a perfect day to brush up on your iguana parent skills. And this is a day to master a few iguana keeping tips. So National Iguana Awareness Day celebrates these gentle lizards and reptiles who make for excellent pets. Today is the day to show some extra love to your iguana. A day dedicated solely to teach humans how to take care of iguanas should also make us empathetic towards animals with whom we share the planet. National Iguana Awareness Day makes us kinder people.
Natural selection forced marine iguanas to adapt to the ocean, as well as land. These iguanas are the only modern lizard that forage both above and below the waterline. Just a few hundred feet offshore, there's an underwater algae meadow. To get there, marine iguanas adapted swimming and diving skills and developed the ability to hold their breath about half an hour. Even their claws adapted to the water world, becoming sharper so they can hold onto slippery rocks. The water is only 60 degrees Fahrenheit, low enough to kill a cold-blooded reptile. But marine iguanas learned how to cope. This male draws blood into his core organs to keep them functioning. And his heart rate lowers drastically to help him survive the 20-degree plunge in body temperature. But 2 hours in the cold water, and this iguana's had enough.
With their independently rotating eyes, color change abilities, their pincer-like feet, their long tongue that they project out of their mouth, and their slow, deliberate movements, chameleons are animals that most people would regard as highly charismatic. One of the centers of chameleon diversity is Madagascar, and of the 202 chameleon species that are currently described to science, 42% occur on Madagascar. One of the old theories as to why chameleons change color was that they were changing color to match their background. But what we now know is that it's actually a communication strategy. Male-male combat will elicit some of the most impressive colorations from males. From females, on the other hand, if a female is gravid or she has eggs and is not interested in breeding, if a male starts to try and court her, she will display some very intense, vibrant colorations to let the male know that she's not interested. In 2015, scientists have discovered that the superficial layer of chameleon skin has pigments in it, and under that there are cells with small guanine crystals. Chameleons change color by actively tuning the spacing between these guanine crystals. And what that does is it changes the wavelength of light that is reflected off of those crystals and thereby changes the hue or the color of the chameleons. Now, chameleons have always been considered a master of camouflage, and some of that is actually behavioral. When chameleons are moving in the branches or moving along the ground, they do a very characteristic back and forth motion. And what they're actually doing is mimicking a leaf or a branch in the wind and trying to break up a typical movement pattern of an animal running from a predator. The chameleon tongue is actually a highly complex array of bone, elastic elements, and muscle. Chameleons can project their tongues up to 2 body lengths from their mouth. Now, this is done at speeds of about 5.8 meters per second, or about 13 miles an hour. Tongue projection in chameleons is similar in a lot of ways to a bow and arrow. Before the tongue is actually launched, or the arrow, muscle action loads elastic elements. And so in a bow and arrow, that's when the arm actually pulls the bow back. Tongue launch is initiated by the recoil of those elastic elements that were loaded by the muscle action, or the release of the bow in the bow and arrow model. And it's the recoil of those elastic tissues, or that bow, that causes the launch of the tongue or the arrow in the bow and arrow example. 36% of chameleon species are threatened with extinction. There are 9 species which are regarded as critically endangered and 37 species that are regarded as endangered. The main threats to chameleons in the wild is actually habitat alteration and deforestation. Because some chameleons are found only in a specific type of habitat on a single mountain, this makes them highly range restricted, but when that range restriction is combined with other pressures on their habitat, a lot of these species become endangered. Chameleons have fascinated scientists and naturalists for centuries. It's something that we're still learning a lot about.
Today is also commemorated as National Pediatric Hematology Oncology Nurses Day in US. People around the United States celebrate the National Pediatric Hematology Oncology Nurses Day each year on September 8th. This annual celebration was first organized to pay homage to the hard work and dedication of these nurses and to honor their sacrifices. Oncology, pediatrics, and hematology are some of the most critical fields of the medicine, requiring special attention from all practitioners. These brave nurses are honored on this day for their invaluable contributions and acts of service. This celebration is also a recognition of the importance of pediatrics, oncology, and hematology in our daily lives. This is especially true for more specialized fields like hematology and oncology, and later of which directly concerns cancers and tumors. Pediatrics have been practiced since ancient times. Medical research and treatises dedicated to child health care or children's health care can be traced back to the ancient Greek times. This, however, didn't become particularly clear until the late 17th century. Around this period, medical sciences developed immensely and proved that children's diseases were different and thus required a different healthcare method in the West. This was around the same period when other medical fields like hematology and oncology arose. In the mid-17th century, the earliest academic antecedents of hematology as a distinct medical specialty emerged. As microscopes evolved, along with advances in blood cell research, a hematological study was enabled and opened new possibilities for medicine. For oncology, the study of tumors can be traced back to Galen, an ancient Greek doctor. However, the term was only applied in the 17th century as a recognition of the sources of this study and signaled its development as a medical specialty with adequate research methods. As of now, these medical specialties are our main line of defense against chronic diseases. The annual commemoration or celebration in the honor of nurses was first recognized in 2010 by the Association of Pediatric Hematology Oncology Nurses. In India, the ancient document includes the earliest mention of the importance of skilled nurses in medical practice in Charaka Samhita around 100 BC. Several hospitals began developing a model for nursing in 12th century. Nurses are tasked with taking details of the patient's state and caring for their specific needs. The role of a nurse is essentially that of supervising the patients. As the profession develops, it increases the number of specialties. As of now, there are over 100 nursing specialties. There is a lot to mention that nurses are required to know. The studies and exams can be challenging, and the field is also quite competitive. As one of the most vital jobs in medicine, it is important to show appreciation for the significant work nurses perform on this special observance, help make a nurse day. There are many hospitals or associations that would organize an event in honor of nurses, especially on this day. Make sure to attend online or offline or even volunteer to organize one. Look in your community or city for professional association of nurses. There are many ways in which you can help, either by cash or kind or by voluntary service. They would be more glad to welcome you. Of course, you can also donate money to further help them. Nursing is one of the oldest professions in the world. Its earliest recorded examples are in India in around 100 BC. Nurses walk a lot, with average distance being 5 miles per every shift. Nurses can also walk outside hospitals. For example, work outside hospitals and clinical settings. For example, some practice in schools, corporate offices, athletic institutions, and various other places. Nursing professions are some of the most sought after in the US as they pay well and include several benefits. Nursing is a general term that refers to a wide variety of nursing professions, from anesthetic to surgical nurses. with more than 100 specialties in nursing. In modern medical practice, the role of nurse is essential. They are tasked with supervising the patient's state and constantly catering to the needs. As such, they are indeed the front line of health and patient care. The special annual observance is set to recognize the important roles that oncology, hematology, and pediatric nurses play. Shedding light on their efforts is the goal of this observance. It is also important to reward some of the most giving members of the society. The job of a nurse is to anticipate the needs of patients and care for them. As such, their efforts are more than worthy of our appreciation. Today is also commemorated as Pardon Day in US. Human relationships can become sore from time to time. Grudges are formed, allegiances are broken. This seems to be an inevitable occurrence. It also means that with every negative event that may transpire between us and others, we also give a chance to find peace and happiness. Forgiveness is a desire to let go of negative feelings towards a person who has wronged you. It involves a change of attitude from person that has been wrong, and it's an act of goodwill. Forgiveness is one of the principal teachings of many religions. Example, Judaism views forgiveness as a pious act, even if the person who wronged hasn't received an apology. In Islam, forgiveness is prerequisite to find inner peace and is better course of action. Whenever possible, even in Hinduism and Sanatana Dharma, forgiveness is being advocated, practiced by ancient scriptures and through religious and non-religious spiritual practices. In the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is, we all belong to one family and we need to take care of each other, forgiving each other. This doesn't mean that it is easy thing to do. Forgiving can be a process that can take a very long time and quite some effort at times. Therefore, it is often may not happen at all. Dialogue is always helpful when forgiving is hard to do. Understanding the reasons why someone wronged you might help the pay way to act of reconciliation. The word pardon has some legal connotations. It's a release from the penalty of an offense by the higher authority figure. This brings us to origin of Pardon Day. On September 8, 1974, President Gerald Ford granted a very controversial pardon to ex-President Richard Nixon. Nixon had been involved in one of the most scandalous events in American history, the Watergate affair. While the day might have a conscientious origin, Pardon Day allows us to reflect upon our feelings and aim to be forgiving. It is not necessary. Forgiveness is a personal journey. Don't feel pressure to get back in contact with anyone that you don't want to do, and no need of meeting the person you are forgiving. Even without meeting a person physically or virtually also, you can forgive a person. The best way to ask for forgiveness is a period of self-reflection may be needed before an approach is made. This will change in every situation, depends on the situation. While many religions teach forgiveness, Pardon Day doesn't have any religious origin. It is more secular. So try and forgive someone who has wronged you. It will bring you relief and peace. This can be a very healing thing to do. Reflect on your life. Do you need to forgive yourself for something? Forgive today. Take this day to observe the way you behave to others and make an effort to be as kind, as compassionate as possible. If you have children, this is a good day to teach them about the concept of forgiveness. Forgiving someone should be an act that benefits you more than anyone. Pardon Day can be the first step in a journey to repair a relationship. Today is also commemorated as Stand Up to the Cancer Day, which is observed every second Friday of September and created for creating awareness, cancer awareness. It's also a time to support for the fight against cancer using various means. And this day is observed since 2008, and it has helped to gather massive support from researchers and scientists. Stand Up to Cancer Day is also known as National Stand Up to Cancer Day and was created out of goodwill to join the fight against cancer. We spread awareness concerning cancer on this day. It is also a call to action. Donations are encouraged on this special day. The money is used primarily to help advance cancer research. Researchers from around the world are encouraged to collaborate the fight against cancer. Also, there are 170 countries that observe this special day. Cancer is one of the leading causes of death nowadays, but it was discovered long ago. Writings about cancer were found in ancient Egyptian manuscripts dating back to 3000 BC. Although the word cancer was not used in the manuscripts, there is a very good description of what we today know as cancer. So it was Greek physician Hippocrates, also known as father of medicine, who called the disease by the name karkinos, which means crab in Greek. Since then, researchers have taken the time to study the disease carefully. Cancer means crab. The Latin word cancer was translated into Greek word for crab, and there are over 100 types of cancers. In 2018 alone, $150.8 billion was spent on the cancer care in the US alone, and the fight against cancer is expensive. Cancer cells can manifest from anywhere in the body. Data shows that there has been a decline in the cancer death rate since 1990. Today is also commemorated as World Physical Therapy Day. It is celebrated to raise awareness about the critical role of physical therapists and chronic pain therapies in keeping people healthy and fit. Physical therapists attempt to treat an injury or deformity, educate patients about healthy behaviors, and restore lost or damaged functionality. Chronic pain is linked to a variety of medical diseases, including low back pain, cervical and thoracic pain, shoulder pain, headache problems, cancer, fibromyalgia, muscular dystrophy, and osteoarthritis. So the World Confederation of Physical Therapy established the World Physiotherapy Day on September 8th of each year. The day celebrates the global physical therapy community togetherness and solidarity. It's a chance to recognize the contributions that physical therapists provide to their patients and the community. Going back in time, the first documented account of physical therapy comes from Hippocrates. Originated the concept of manual manipulation for pain treatment in 460 BC in the West. Since the physiotherapy had progressed from simple massage to a complex portfolio of therapies with a wide range of specialized applications, for centuries, the area of physical therapy experienced minimal progress. A unified group of physical therapy practitioners did not emerge until 18th century. Per Henrik Ling, known as father of Swedish gymnastics, created the Royal Central Institute of Gymnastics in 1813 for massage, manipulation, and exercise. In 1887, Sweden's National Board of Health and Welfare granted physical therapists official registration. Until World War II, the majority of physical therapy was performed in hospitals on patients suffering from surgery, injuries, or other ailments. During the war, specialty physical therapy clinics were established to treat the thousands of wounded soldiers who required rehabilitation following hospital stays. This shift to outpatient care reflected physical therapy's expanding popularity. Physiotherapy is now utilized to treat a wide range of diseases and conditions like back pain, osteoarthritis, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, bursitis, muscular strains, Guillain-Barré syndrome, balance disorders, asthma, fibromyalgia, wounds, burns, rheumatoid arthritis, and a variety of other illnesses may be treated. The goals of physiotherapy vary depending on the patient's specific needs, but common intended outcomes include pain relief, increased range of motion, endurance and strength, independence, stress reduction, and a higher quality of life for the patient. The field of physiotherapy evolved even more as computers became more widespread in the medical realm. With the advent of these electronics age made possible by even smaller components, new technologies for use in therapy were introduced. Electrical stimulations and ultrasounds are two examples of gadgets that have improved therapeutic effectiveness. To practice as a professional physical therapist in the United States, you must first obtain a doctorate in physical therapy from a commission or accreditation in physical therapy education, and then pass a state licensing exam. Professional DPT programs are typically 3 years long. In India, we have Bachelor of Physiotherapy, Masters in Physiotherapy, and also PhD in Physiotherapy. Physical therapists have become doctors since 2015, although they are not physicians. They are like any dentist, nurse, doctor, surgeon, optometrist, orthodontist, or therapist, receive further trainings as qualified for their unique professional service. The most fundamental distinction between physical therapy and occupational therapy is that physical therapy focuses on increasing patients' ability to move their body, whereas occupational therapy focuses on improving patients' ability to do activities of daily life. So you can easily join any organized events around you that have been already set up by the experts. And on this World Physical Therapy Day, many countries throughout the world host a varieties of events like Brazil, Ghana, Ireland, Malta, Sri Lanka, and Turkey. In addition to United States and Canada, hold events, walkathons, educational lectures, exercise clinics are also among the events. And Ghana's Physiotherapy Association provides free screening and consulting sessions. So you can attend online awareness sessions like these, which you are attending, to get more information and insights. Have you ever benefited greatly from physical therapy? Perhaps a physical therapist or physiotherapist have assisted you in recovering from an injury or pain. Perhaps physical therapy has assisted you in managing your pain. In any event, if you have ever seen a physical therapist, praise them or thank them or express your gratitude for their efforts. You can also express any physical therapist in your family and appreciate them. Promote and participate in some physical therapy studies to broaden your understanding. Do some research as well as participate in various exercises. Simply getting up and moving is a terrific way to commemorate this day. Encourage others also do the same by involving into various activities. Thousands of soldiers were treated with physiotherapy in Canada during the World War I. In fact, physiotherapy was frequently used as a first line of treatment and was established in Canada. Physical therapy can keep a person from needing invasive surgery, according to research published in the Annals of Internal Medicine in April 2015. It can help persons with lumbar spinal stenosis, LSS, a lower back discomfort caused by narrowing of spine, and avoided surgery. Many individuals consider physiotherapy and physical therapy to be two distinct concepts. But while some countries may distinguish between these two practices, in Canada, they are both used to refer to the same thing. Physiotherapy has been traced back to thousands of years, with Hippocrates, the father of Western medicine, and credited with inventing the profession. Surprisingly, he treated his patients with water therapy, which is still in use today. Even you can see water therapy as hydrotherapy. While a patient may participate in physiotherapy while taking medicines, physiotherapists cure a person's diseases with a drug-free exercise-based therapies. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. And we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form for the day. Which has been raised in the form of polls. Feedback form has been shared. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before you leave the platform. And recent 1 week seminar and also 10 days social work conference commemorating National Social Work Week. Participation certificates have been updated on the website. You can download it from the website. For those who have completed all the formalities, like those who have registered, attended, provided their feedback in Zoom platform, can download their certificates from the website, from respective event web pages, from our website. These webinar certificates will be issued all at once. No need to worry about the certificate. You can keep attending daily. They will be issued all at once. The registration form for the daily webinar series has been shared in the chat box. It's also available on the website. We request every day to register yourself and attend. By registering and completing the formalities, you are officially enrolled in the program, in the series that will entitle you to the benefits and make you eligible for the benefits. So we request everyone to register for all the programs wherever there is registration form. And soon in the next month or in the coming months, an universal registration form will be available for all the events in the entire series. If you have not registered for any event, if you have not provided feedback, or if you have not applied, because certificate is optional, and if you have not opted at the time of registration or at the time of feedback, if you still require a certificate for that event, you can always go back to website and check the website and download your certificate. If you have not applied, or if you did not complete formalities earlier, and if you are looking for certificate, you can fill that form with all correct details. Only forms with all valid, correct details will only be processed by the system. And only if your details are correct, certificates will be generated. So make sure you do not waste your time and resources, and ensure that you are providing all the correct details. On the website, you can see all the videos which are being updated, or on the YouTube channel, we have all the sessions that is happening, and the starting time, ending time, wherever it is required, and the days you have participated. Make sure only on those days on which you have attended, you mark that. We see many times, people are marking days which are not attended by them. Again, system, there will be an error while generating certificate, and you will lose the certificate for the rest of the days. So try to be as transparent as possible, as genuine as possible, so that you'll get at least other certificates which you have attended if you have not attended. And many, we have observed many times that, people came to know in the last day or before day, somewhere in between the conference, or where there is a multi-day conference, like 1 week, 2 days, 3 days, they came to know in the second day, third day, fourth day, and they registered and attended. So in that case, they will be eligible for those days from the day on which they have registered and attended. So make sure you are registering whenever you see a new event. Make sure you register first for all the events and then attend and provide your feedback. Thank you everyone for attending. See you all tomorrow at the same time. And there is an upcoming one-day seminar on women's rights. It is very useful for all the women. And we have eminent speaker, Virendra Kumarji, who will be talking on legal aspect, property aspects, which is very much important. And many people do not have awareness about that. And, so it is a very good opportunity to share with all the people, invite especially women, because half of the population is women. So we request you all to share with everyone. There will be also a free certificate provided as usual for all the events. Make sure you share the details with them so that everyone can get the benefit of it. See, certificate is always secondary, but the knowledge which you gain or the awareness that we get through these events are, invaluable. Along with that, if we complete the formalities, we'll also be getting the certificate. So we request you, everyone, to circulate widely in your platforms, in your groups, and let us all together help to create awareness, which is also an empowerment to the girls and women. So thank you once again for joining us today. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.